All right, where'd your name come from?
So my name, Peychec, spelled Peychec. You know, growing up, my dad, he'd always end up somehow losing his job. So when that would happen, it would kind of shake up our life a little bit. And it kind of, his paycheck had like an effect on where I would live, and where you live kind of has an effect on like how you see the world, your experiences. So like he would, you know, lose his paycheck, we'd leave the, you know, two-story house, and we go to the apartment in like way, you know, somewhere far, and, you know, live poor. And then one time he just we left the country. We left. He wanted to go back to school, so when we went to England, he had no paycheck. His paycheck, his like school scholarship was like 200 British pounds a month. So my mom had to like knit sweaters for us, and it was just me and my mom and him, and get flour and make bread. So kind of like the paycheck or the lack thereof really had a big effect on, you know, me as a kid, you know, 8, 9, 10 years old. But that's one meaning, how like I've been working my whole life towards getting a stable paycheck. I'm like almost there, but it's just always been a goal, you know. And then my ethnicity is Persian, Farsi. That's the language. And in Farsi, the word for paycheck and rights is the same word. It's hukuk, which means, and when they say human rights, it's hukuk bashar. So that means like, so it's kind of like, if you look at it, you know, money is a necessity, and it kind of like it affords you dignity in society to a certain extent. You know, past a certain amount, it doesn't matter anymore. But I believe that everyone needs that paycheck, like a steady income, to be able to live a dignified life and not have to suffer needlessly. So that's so those are all the meanings behind my name and why I'm kind of it drives my passion forward.
Now, where are you from?
So I grew up mostly in Southern California. So we moved in and out of like the Inland Empire, sometimes Orange County, sometimes a place out like halfway to Vegas, like Victorville area. And then I went to college at UC Irvine in Orange County. And then after college, I went to Mississippi for a master's. And now I've been in Mississippi for about almost coming up on 8 years, and I'm actually, you know, I'm still there. I still live there. And one interesting thing about me is I'm also a medical student. So I'm a 4th-year medical student, and I'm finishing up my studies there in Mississippi. I could stay there, but I'm looking at other cities too, like New York or Chicago or something after, you know, I graduate. But those are all the places I'm from. But we lived in England. When we lived in England, we were in the north of the UK, and it was like called Sheffield. It was an old like steel town. It was pretty rough when I lived there. I don't know how it's changed now, but.
Now, how long you been living in Mississippi? 8 years?
8 years, yeah.
What part of Mississippi?
Jackson. Yeah, Jackson.
What's your opinion of the state of rap music right now in Jackson? Or Mississippi there, for that matter, as a whole? Either or.
Man, the state of rap music in Jackson right now it's awesome. I call it, I think of it as like a renaissance. Like, I mean, there's a bloom right now. You have Doe Hicks. He is like he's about to be a household name. Let's just say that. And then you have Jay Sky. He's super dope. He's from Jackson. And you have Dirty Costello. He's out here now in the A, and he's a really good producer. You got my bro Ricky Rich, and his production is off the chain. And of course, you know, Mississippi, you know, when you come to Mississippi, on the sign it says birthplace of America's music. And that's because the blues is from there, and funk. You know, if you listen to that Bruno Mars track with Uptown Funk, they shout out Jackson, Mississippi in the song. So the music is there, and you know, I believe in spiritual power, and you know, my religious belief is like the next world and this world are kind of intertwined, but we don't see it because we have a physical body that sees only physical things. So I feel like living in Jackson, and we lived in the downtown area for a while, in the King Edward Hotel, which was like a stop on, like back in the day, a lot of the tours and stuff, like of blues artists. So I feel like the aura is there and it inspires. So we have a lot of talent. We have a lot of talent in Jackson, and I think it's some of the best. It's probably the best place I could have went to kind of develop as an artist. I love it.
Now give me a tour of the city of Jackson for someone that's never been there before. Start with the food. Favorite food spot in the city?
Favorite food spot in the city? The most authentic, like it depends. Like you know, Jackson is a really old traditional southern city, so there's like, you know, there's like the fancy spots, and then there's the kind of like hole in the wall. So the hole in the wall is probably off Bailey, E&L's Barbecue. That's really good. If you want some soul food, you go to Sylvia's. That's off 49 Medgar Evers. And if you want like some like fine dining, there's a place in Fondren. It's called Walker's. Walker's is really good. And Walker's is good. Then also in the same neighborhood, I'd say you could, if you wanted some good fried chicken, you could go to like Chicken Fingers or whatever, Roosters. People like Roosters. Roosters is dope. Pizza, you want to go to Pizza Shack. That's in Bellhaven. That's probably the best pizza in the city. They're actually from Chicago. They moved down, the people that run it. So it's really good food. Yeah.
What about the nightlife? Favorite strip club in the city?
Favorite? See, strip clubs annoy me because the second I step in a strip club, it's like flies to fecal matter. Like I don't know how it is in Jackson. It's like I can't sit down and relax like everyone else at the strip club. For some reason, every performer wants to come up and have a conversation with me, and I don't know what the deal is. I guess I don't know. So I really don't enjoy the strip club, but I guess the cleanest strip club we have is called Black Diamonds. I went there the other week because Black Youngster had a show there. It was pretty dope. But I told myself I'm never going to go back. And I go if there's an event. Just because, I mean, I'm going to keep it real, man. I lose a lot of money at the strip club. It's not good. It's not good on my finances because I feel bad. I'm like, listen, man. Like, you can't just come. It's like going to church and just when the basket comes and you just keep passing it, everyone looks at you like, you know what I'm saying? So if you're at the strip club, you got to donate to the church. So I feel bad. I start throwing money, and I'm like, I don't really need to be throwing money right now. I need to come back when I get my paycheck. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But maybe one day when I'm super balling out here, I can go to the strip club with my girl, and I can give her a stack, and she can, throw some money.
Now, what about regular nightclub? Do you have a favorite regular nightclub in the city?
The big nightclub in our city is off Mill Street. It's in a historical district. It's called Freelance. That's where my bro Dirty DJs. If I go out to a club, it's either there. And I've been to every club in the city. It's either there. And I personally like M Bar because it's more like a sports bar. and they have food, and their food is, I mean, both places have good food, but M-Bar is a little bit, but M-Bar is always packed. I usually go there if there's like a fight or something, and there's like standing room only barely. It's crazy, but that's if there's like a fight or something like that. Like the Mayweather fight, I went there. It's on the north side.
Now, we talked about the food a little bit. We talked about the nightlife.
Right.
First time someone visiting Jackson, anything else you recommend they see or visit while they're in town?
Man, first time visiting Jackson. See or visit. It's I don't know. I've lived there for so long. I don't know the touristy places, but I guess like, I mean, stuff that I like to do when I'm in Jackson is besides hanging out with my friends and making music or stuff like that, is just walk on the trails. There's a reservoir. There's places to go fishing. You kind of got to like hook up with some locals and see what they do. I mean, if you're into like outdoors activities and stuff, a lot of people do that. But, you know, just eat. There's, you know, places to go eat. Usually, you know, what people from Jackson really do if they want to have like an urban time is they go to New Orleans for Mardi Gras, and that's right now. So you probably want to go do that. But yeah, Jackson is kind of like, that's why it's so good for getting things done. Like, I feel like there's not that much activity to do, but we have some museums downtown. We have some museums downtown, like, to check out, but, you know, it's, I feel like people from Jackson might, I don't want anyone from Jackson to get mad at me. I just don't go out. I'm a med student, so I don't do much. If there was stuff to do, I probably wouldn't know about it.
Now, what about the lingo? What are some terms or some phrases one might hear in the city of Jackson right about now?
Right now, of course, everyone's talking about lit and dap, but that's everywhere. One thing that's specific to Jackson that is probably not anywhere else is the term J-U, and it's pronounced Jew, and that's like your homie. So everyone in Jackson is called a Jacktown Jew. That's just what it is. I don't know the history behind it. I really don't know, but there's like a kind of like a collective called USA, Jacktown USA. So that's a specific term. You actually hear Soulja Boy has said it in one of his songs. Well, he's like, when I'm in Mississippi, is what's up, Jew, or something like that. So it's interesting. Jackson has, Jackson has a interesting history. It's in Mississippi, so there's a lot of racial things in Mississippi. You already know. So it's like, I don't know, like every store. See, people in Jackson, a lot of people, the layperson, there's not much other ethnicities besides white and black. So the store, like a corner store, could be like ran by like people from Yemen or something. But to the general population, that's the Iranian store. You know what I'm saying? And then, so back in the day, I think there was like on the Natchez Trace, but people don't know the history. Like if you ask people why is it why do we say Jacktown Jew? Like people don't know. You ask them, like that's just what it is. But I kind of did some digging a while ago. There was a store on the Natchez Trace called the Jew Store, and they still call corner stores the Jew Store to this day. But it was like a Jewish family, owned it. So I don't know, but.
Now, are there any special events in Jackson you might recommend someone go see or visit? Like, for instance, I mean, you mentioned Mardi Gras in New Orleans, but, Mardi Gras is a huge ordeal in New Orleans. Anything not similar to that event, but anything
Right.
of that magnitude
So
interesting for someone to go check out in Jackson?
They have a St. Patty's Day parade, and it's like, I think, like 4th or 5th largest St. Patty's Day parade in the country. It's pretty big. It's the one event I can say where every socioeconomic group that lives in Jackson will come and kind of like reluctantly mingle, because you know racism is big in Mississippi, and I'm probably gonna get in trouble from like the racist people right now, but I mean I'm gotta be real. People don't really mix. I mean there is mixture, but it's like more on the like if you're a minority and you have like money, then okay, it's a, you know, there's some mixture, but you know, typically if you're economically disenfranchised minority, you're not really going to the same events as the white people. So this is the one event where it's like everyone comes together in the streets downtown. Although, you know, it's still annoying because that side of the city still doesn't really mess with this side of the city. It's just it was a big shock when I moved to Mississippi. Even in the same classroom, like, because see, I deal with both. I go to med school, and it's like, med school class is like 70% upper middle class, you know what I mean? And then I go home, I don't deal with them anymore because they give me so much grief at school. But, you know, they'll even come have their little exhibit at the parade or whatever. But, you know, my friends from outside of school are also there. So, you know, I'll be able to like go get a little drink or whatever at the med school exhibit, and then, or a little tent, and then go hang out with my friends.
So racism is pretty easy to spot in Mississippi.
Yeah, man, it's so easy to spot, and if you're in it, it's like a fish in water. But because I didn't grow up in Mississippi, for me, it's like every single day. You know, like in any other city in America, you have white kids that know hip hop. You know what I mean? You have Asians, Middle Easterns. You have other ethnicities that like and know hip hop. In Mississippi, only black people patronize the art of hip hop. White people, there are. Don't get me wrong, there are. There's even white rappers. You know what I'm saying? But they won't have any fans in Mississippi that are white themselves. You know what I'm saying? They might, but it's like, and it's something that you can't run from in Mississippi. There's no getting around it. You know, the churches are so segregated, and that's where I put because where do you learn your morals and ethics from? People generally go follow what their churches say. So, you know, that's just how it goes. When the churches are segregated, and they're super segregated, and the society, like they might be in the same workplace, but it's just different. Let's say you have a business, typically, not always, but it depends on where. Like a business in Jackson, okay, you know, everyone is going to be representative of Jackson is 76 to 80% black city, and that's because of like white flight after integration. But it used to be, back before all this, it used to be like a pretty much white city. So if you go to a business somewhere else, you'll see the manager is white. You know what I'm saying? And then like the employees are black. And you're just thinking like, I doubt that manager has like a degree. Like I hate to say it, but it's like the only reason I feel like he's the manager is because of his skin tone. Like, you know, he's got hookups, connections, but you know, that's like outside of Jackson. But like in Jackson, no, that's not the case. White people tend to stay in their little areas in Jackson, like in the Fondren area, Belhaven area. They don't go to, you know, the black areas in Jackson, and they just stay out of it.
Do you see this ever changing in the future, or you think this is going to be how it's going to be?
Mississippi? Oh, this is getting real. So this is the thing. There's a lot of passive aggression in Mississippi. So you got the Sovereignty Commission that runs the state. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking about this. So they probably have a file on me. But they have files on, they're like the people at the top of this, and I know it sounds crazy, you're like, yeah, right, they have a file on you. they got to file on me, bro. I promise you. And if they see this, woo. Because of my school, I go to the, place where all their kids are there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like both. Like I've met the governor. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen the governor come to our school and all this business, and he probably, won't know me, but I've seen him, close up. He came and did a speech, groundbreaking and stuff like that. But so I see everything. But you have the Sovereignty Commission, and they run everything, and they have people that are of both, races of the state in their pocket, and they just make sure everyone stays in their place. And a lot of the preachers of both, ethnicities are enforcing this, and I used to date a girl. She, her family was worth a lot of money. She's one of my classmates. Not my classmates. She one grade one class under me. So we were dating. Her pastor was a preacher in a rural area. Her grandfather on her mom's side was also a preacher, and they were very rich. They had an uncle that had an engineering company and was building roads for Nigeria. Nigeria has oil money. They have Aliko Dangote, like he's a billionaire. Like they have Nigeria is a rich country. As far as their government goes, there's a lot of corruption there. Unfortunately, a lot of the people aren't happy with it, but still, it's a beautiful place. I want to go there one day. But this family, this whose daughter I was dating, it was worth millions, multi-millions. Like I think she was exaggerating, talking about 300 million or whatever. I don't know. I don't think that much. But he had a picture with Obama and all this stuff, and donated to his campaign. But you go to his church, and there's kids barefoot. Like their family's all going to school and all this business, but all they do is get Christmas presents and then pass the basket around. And one time it slipped. I was like, how come you don't tutor these kids? How come you don't do something for these kids? Because that's my passion, is helping, giving back. I tutor at the MCAT. I helped 4 young men raise their MCAT score up and get into medical school. So that, 4 young black physicians, you know what I'm saying? That's a big deal, men. That's really important to me, seeing that. And she's like, no, I love our congregation. They're the ones that made it so I can go to school. So tuition's paid. I was like, what? Like, oh my God. So I think that as long as you have this faction of people that's at the top of, any because, this is how they keep people oppressed. They infiltrate from the inside of your group. You know what I'm saying? And when they infiltrate into the inside of your group, they'll have people to where that you will listen to tell you to do the wrong thing. So I think as long as, people are fooled by, because, the ruling party in Mississippi is scared. They're scared because they technically don't, the things that they have in place are the docility that the preachers put into people, and then the fact that the preachers don't really focus too much during their sermons on the twofold moral purpose of religion. It's not just one. Spirituality is one, but the other purpose is things like that will help you get on your own 2 feet. You know what I mean? Things that Martin Luther King cared about, which was poverty and education. Things that Martin Luther King fought for was integration of schools and equal education. But pastors in Mississippi forget that part, and I feel like until that happens, to me, what I've seen, now, I'm not saying all, I don't want anyone to be like, well, he's throwing everybody under the bus and all that, but I just want to see every single church in a poor area in Mississippi preach to the parents of the children, listen, God loves you and he wants your children to be educated, so that, because see, it's not like here, like Atlanta or like California or whatever, where you have a good school system, kind of, at least. the Mississippi school system in poor areas and rural areas. Now, rural areas, you might not even have like a book. Like rural area, like the Delta, there's still illiteracy, like rampant. So, no, Mississippi is just 50, 60, 100 years back. And I hate to say it, because people in Mississippi are beautiful, but it's like, if you're born poor and black in Mississippi, you already have so much to overcome, more than I feel like any other state. Our infant mortality in Mississippi is is higher than Cuba. The country of Cuba has better healthcare, better literacy than Mississippi itself. Mississippi still has endemic TB from people that, like, usually TB is like, oh, someone comes, like in our medical board questions, they say someone moved from like an endemic area. It's like a foreign country or whatever, like Mexico, and then you consider TB, or you consider like other, endemic, or like if they have like a brain lesion, it's neurocysticosis, which is like a worm you get from pork. But in Mississippi, we still have TB that's not from a foreign country. So that just shows you it's not just racism. Everything is set back, and I feel like that the people that run it are the ones, because if you run something, you have the ultimate power over everything. They denied the funding from the bailouts. They pushed back against every single social service that came from Obama. Like the politicians in Mississippi are all mostly Republican, and their running platforms often are like, he voted for, I remember there was a guy who was like, he voted against Obama 27 times, and like he got elected because of that. I'm like, oh my God. But anyways, it's really horrible. But I love Mississippi, and I'm always going to fight for the people of Mississippi.
Now you're still in school.
I'm still in school. I got 4 more months.
And what are you going to school for?
Okay. So I'm getting my MD. So to be a physician. Yeah. It's hopefully, I'm applying for residency right now, and it depends how things go. But I want to be a doctor, and so my first choice is internal medicine. I'm also considering other fields after that, to subspecialize in. But it depends, Internal medicine is like 3 years. And then after that, you can go on and subspecialize. But it all depends on, how the music goes, or how tired I am, because residency is hard, and it takes a lot out of you, long hours. And I might want to just start my life. My girl might be just mad at waiting. She's like, I already waited 2 years. She wants a Benz now, you know what I'm saying? But she's good. I need to get her a Benz one day, but hopefully when I graduate, but
So where does rapping fit with all this stuff that you got going on? Because it sounds like you're pretty busy just with school alone.
Yeah, because the last 3 months, I went to Cali. I went in my mom's house. I went to a room. I locked the door, and I didn't come out until I finished studying for the test, pretty much. So the only thing I've been worried about is touring. Like, touring is the big puzzle for me, because I'm like, dude, to really get your fan base up, you want to tour. So I'll probably be relying heavily on internet promotion somehow, you know what I mean? And then just get my promotion up to where I can do one-off shows. I really want to share not just my music, but I want to share my outlook with the people of America. And I love this country so much, and I feel like it has such a high spiritual potential right now, because we as a people in America are learning so much. We're learning so much about the reality of the world as of late, and I think that's been kind of a function of our leadership lately. Our president now has upped our consciousness, and I feel like a lot of people don't give him credit for that. Just the things that he focuses on, the things that he's fighting for, push people to learn about, oh, why is he fighting for this? Why is he fighting for healthcare? Why did he apologize? Why was he going around, people saying, why going around apologizing? He wasn't going around apologizing. He was setting an example for the future presidents. This is how diplomacy works. So I feel like I want to be a part of the American society to the point where I can contribute to the discourse, and just being a doctor, I can do a lot of that in my immediate environment, but I feel like the platform that artists have or public figures have, and they are afforded with so much more ability to mix their contribution into the humor of the rest of the consciousness of our people in the world. And by our people, I mean all humanity. I believe, race is something that exists from society viewing what we look like, you know what I mean, and treating us how we look like. But inside me, I love every single person, and so why not be able to do that on a larger scale? So I don't want to be famous just, oh, he's a fame whore or something like that. No, I want, like, this opportunity right here. If I wasn't doing music, I couldn't have a discussion with you like this, at all. So, and I feel like you're an awesome person. I love, like, a lot of things you stand for, how you carry yourself, just your whole vibe is dope. And so I feel like this is the goal. Like, I've reached the goal, like, and just continue, share my music with people, pour myself out, like my heart, and that's it. I don't really have expectations of becoming, like, the best that ever did it, or take the shine away from other people, or Debo an entire genre, or vulture anything, or like that. Like, no. I just make the music that I was influenced by, and I make the music that comes out when I hear the production. You know what I mean? And it's influenced by my life.
So you're not hiding the fact that you go to school or you're going to be a doctor. You embrace that?
I love it because that's something that I've worked so hard for my entire life. And I'm so grateful for my school accepting me, even though they probably did it to fill a minority quota. I'm not. If they see this, I'm praying so hard. Please, God, don't let my school see this interview because I talk so much mess. But they know it. My school knows it. Come on now. They know it because they have to fight it all the time. They're constantly, the administration at my school has to fight the old traditions of prejudice every single day. They're not. The thing is, we have good people in our administration at our school that care about the issues. You know what I'm saying? I feel like maybe because physicians are naturally, like, they care about people. So the moral conscience at our institution is pretty good, and people really care who are in positions at my school. Because I was on probation for the music for a while.
Explain.
So, first thing I did was I was with my friend. We were in Vernon Dishon, which is like an area, kind of. I mean, it's in Jackson. It's a known neighborhood. You have areas that are like, oh, that place is kind of, hood. No, this is like a known hood. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we were there. I was taking my friend Vontae to get his haircut, and I just made an Instagram post. I had my white coat on. He needed a ride, and I just had the white coat. I was like, whatever. I made an Instagram post that I was like, I'm in med school, but I mess with the hood. I got love for the hood. My patients are from the hood. And I was being honest. And then, so I got in trouble for that. Because I was in the hood with the white coat on with, like, undesirable characters. And you know who reported me? It's the classmates. The classmates that were following me on Instagram. So I had to go through and I had to block every single classmate. They still try and follow me, but I didn't know who was friend or foe. At this point, it was like, I got to make sure. It was like a barn burner. You know what I'm saying? Like, just every person affiliated with my school had to be blocked. And then after that, I guess there were some people that I still have my profile. Like sometimes I would make my profile unblocked or like unprivate and private back and forth. And I guess there was one person or a few people that were still straggling and I didn't get them. So I put a music video out. And my school, it went viral. I'm talking about, I'm walking down the hallway and the surgeon is calling me Peychec. And I'm like, how is this happening? The pathologist is like, I saw your video. You're dancing. I was like, no, I couldn't believe it. It was like crazy. So like pretty much all the people that I'm working are like quoting the song, you know what I'm saying, while I'm, stitching up a patient. And I'm like, this is not, they're trolling me, you know what I mean? So it got bad and like eventually it went to the administration, but there's people trying to get me out, but luckily there was, a lady and I have sources that tell me like she saved me so I wouldn't get kicked out of school. So, yeah, again, like it's a touchy issue, but I feel like if I have one message for the people in my school, my classmates is, yeah, I know my demeanor might be a little bit, I'm not from California, I'm a little racy, you know what I'm saying? I'm a little racy, not as in like sexual content at all. I'm talking about like, racial integration. I'm a little bit too much. I understand. I'm a little bit too much, but just know I have love for you regardless. I even have a song that talks about it. It says, they see the melanin in his skin and can't stand us in the hallways of this old prejudiced campus. Coat white like his, but my skin is not. They try rather see me on this block straight busting these shots. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't put that song out, but it's just that was the thing. It was like the administration is trying to give because they got to please their core people, you know what I'm saying, to a certain extent, and there's probably still people in there that are, very conservative. So they had to give them consolidations. You got to compromise. So they're like, okay, they wanted me kicked out. These people probably wanted me to stay. And so the medium ground was, okay, this is what we'll do. We'll put him on probation. If he ever does anything else like this, he's got one chance and he's out. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they did. So they kind of in the medium ground. And so like every interview I went on, they were like, what's going on? Why is this show probation? What did you do? And it's like professionalism probation. But I mean, what can you do? You got to kind of, I'm not mad. It's just, it is what it is. I pray, and God, when you pray, and I need to pray more and more and more. When you pray, I think that it doesn't matter. There's going to be someone on your side that's going to help you out, And I have no ill will towards anyone. I just wish that, people would come sit down and just have an open mind a little bit and come talk to me, like before they make these decisions, But it's cool. I mean, they didn't throw me out, They just kept me with like these provisions.
And this was recent?
Yeah, this was like the probation was for my entire third and part of my fourth year. So I'm like almost done with my fourth year now. So it was like last year and the year before that.
All because of a rap song, all because of rap music.
All because of rap song, all because of rap music.
You almost got kicked out.
I almost got kicked out of school with over $200,000 in loans. And I would have never been able to go back. And matter of fact, we might have to delay the release of this video till I graduate. I don't know. Just you. I'm gonna put that in your hands, Smallz. We'll see how that goes. But no, much love Mississippi is where I start. Like I was always into music. When I was a kid, I would play the piano, and then when we went to my parents used to break the bank trying to get me to piano classes. I remember even in England, my dad still to this day, he's like, you stop playing piano. I used to pay your teacher this much every month and take you to piano. You don't play anymore. I said, man. So I started doing violin in middle school and high school, and then I kind of like stopped all that. And so and then I got into athletics a little bit in college, and so that kind of supplanted music for a while. But I still was making beats. when I was in college, just playing around on FL. And my friend that I was making beats with, he still has them. But then once I, came to, it was a lot of hard work after college to try and get into med school, so I kind of had to focus on just one thing for a while. It was probably the hardest thing I'd ever done. But once I, was over kind of like the mental hump, the first 2 years of med school is really hard. You can't do anything. It's just studying. Once I was over that, then, I was actually studying for my USMLE Step 1 when I was in the coffee shop, and I had started the music just a little bit back, and this same song that I got put on probation for, it was called Changing Up Fast. I think the video's still on Dailymotion. I had to pull it, but I couldn't take it off Dailymotion. I met Kamikaze, if you know Kamikaze. He was at the coffee shop that I was studying at, and he's like a legend, Jackson legend, So he was at the coffee shop with one of his artists called Silas, and then they were meeting with a dude that would later become one of my really good friends, Dirty Costello. He's a DJ, he's a producer, he's also an artist. And I just saw him, and there was like an aura around him. I was like, this dude is someone I need to just go meet. You know what I mean? Just something about him. Like, he had this spiritual, like, aura on his face. Just such a kind, he just had a kind, like, demeanor. And I was, like, listening to them talk, and at the end, I just went up, I was like, hi, my name is such and such. I go by Peychec, and I do music, and I just think you're dope. And what's your Instagram, man? And all this stuff. And so he was like asking me about what I do, and I was like telling him, and he was like, man, I want to. So he brought me, he's like, man, let's link up. I want to be a part of it too. I was like, okay. So like he brought me around, his collective, and we've been brothers ever since, man. So
what you got going on right now?
So right now I have a single that I'm pushing. It's called Love Another. And it's on my SoundCloud right now. And it's soundcloud.com/PEYCHEC. And you can listen to it and also follow me on my social network. I have Peychec on Instagram, PEYCHEC, same on Twitter. And just keep a lookout. Follow me on those mediums, and I'll be having my video for the single soon, and I'm going full promo mode this summer. Just tell me what you think. You can download the song off my SoundCloud for free, and it's dope. It's like got a Justin Timberlake-y feel. The producer, shout out M. Mills. He's actually in Atlanta, but he's from Virginia. He sent me the track. It was beautiful. I wasn't even like anticipating it. He just emailed it to me. I listened to it, and I just came out with the heart. It kind of talks about some real emotional things that, I had gone through in my life, and it's just something dope, and it's something kind of romantic. It talks about like loving someone to the point where even if they mess up, or even if you mess up, the love literally conquers all. Like, you can go past it, and just go become solid, and so, it's like transition period, when you start talking to someone, it's like, do I like them, do I not, yada yada. You catch feelings they don't know, or they catch feelings you don't know, and people mess up, people aren't perfect, so it's kind of like that feeling, but then it's like taking it home, like, no, she told me that she ain't never gonna love another. I told her that I was never gonna love another. Then I found out about another lover, and then she found out about another lover. So for the rest of that story, go ahead and check me out on SoundCloud and tell me what you think. Hit me up.